face with you digitally, man, and had this conversation with you. But just first off, man, how are you doing tonight, man?
I'm just, I'm frustrated and I'm frustrated, hurt, confused, just everything. And just trying to stay alive. That's about it. Trying to stay alive.
Dig it, dig it. Now, when you spoke to me last night, you said that you had like no idea about what was going on in regards to the situation. So what did you know or what didn't you know as far as what's going on?
So, like I got a really, really bad heart.
Hmm.
Operates at 5%. So I was in a hospital when the police contacted me. And so it took me by surprise. So they asked if they could give the grandmother the number. I'm like, yeah, because, we had lost contact. So they gave her the number. So I continued talking to the police. Everything, like she said, everything that this woman has said, it's been like in a common way. Like, she's a straight A student. She sent me pictures of, like, like young pictures, like to where in my mind, I'm like, okay, my baby's still okay. So with Naziah and Naziah mom, just briefly, okay, we had made an agreement when she was born that the grandmother would take care of her. Now,
Mm.
the grandmother needed full rights to be able to provide full care, you know. So we both signed over our rights to the grandmother. I put myself on child support. Now, once you did that, I put myself on child support. I was still going over their birthdays, taking clothes, everything. When I had this procedure done to my heart, I didn't have a phone for a while because I was in the hospital. They was actually it was they put a defibrillator pacemaker in. I had to go to rehab to work, so I lost contact. When I got out of there, they had moved, so I couldn't get in contact with them. Now, forward 3 or 4, maybe 5 years later to now, however much time that was, the now my daughter's missing. And that's when the police came down.
Okay,
So
now,
that's briefly.
okay, now,
No.
I want to say, without, not, as I don't mean no disrespect by it, but like, what I mean, without getting into too much your business, your personal business, I guess as deep as you want to go. Why
Mhm.
was it that you felt like you needed to give your rights up to her as opposed to raising her yourself if you knew um, that the mother was in whatever condition that she was in where she couldn't take care of her? Why didn't you take her?
All right. So, I made a decision, uh, for one, without my wife knowing. See, I'm married, so I made a decision without my wife knowing, and and she, her name is Chantel. Tail knew my position where I was in because we had worked together, and we had told the grandmother, the situation. So, and I know people are gonna go ham or whatever, but I tried to be as responsible as my mind at that time could take. And I didn't run. I ain't, everybody want to say something. Go get them other guys that ain't taking care of this and ain't taking care of that. I took care of it. So, it was only because at that time, in my mind, I was trying to protect my wife's feelings without her even knowing. Without her even knowing.
So when you say
And
you made a
so,
decision without your wife knowing, the decision was to uh, give up custody of your daughter, or was it what was the decision?
to sign the rights over so the grandmother can do full, so she'll be able to provide anything that she needed as far as funding, stake, whatever she might need,
So you made that decision
And
without your wife.
Chantel,
So do you feel like had you told your
without
wife
my
the
wife.
situation, she would have what maybe convinced you to take her, or convince you to do what
You
you
know
did?
what? Now, when all this happened just now, I even apologized to my wife because I took away my wife's ability to, have her own feelings for the situation, and I knew that, and I had to have that conversation again with my wife. Now, had I not uh, done what I done, I know for sure this situation wouldn't have happened, and it's tearing me apart because she would have had the two homes to go to and come to, and a lot of stuff. But my background growing up, it wasn't. I mean, I think it's still, you got to understand, everybody don't make right decisions. Everybody just hear the story. Oh, he should have done this. I'm pretty sure you should have done some things too. Now, I'm just being upfront and truthful
Right,
about what happened at that time. That's all I'm doing.
right, right.
And if somebody want to ask, fine, but I still I don't want to get away from me putting the information out here that I do know,
Okay, right.
for the main reason we're here.
Yeah, most definitely.
But
I mean,
they
that was
do, I do think people deserve a background like, where's this guy been, or
yeah, and that's what I
so
was,
to the mature,
that's what I wanted to ask you. Like,
yeah,
who
yeah.
are you? You know what I mean? Because a lot of people it seem to be forming an opinion, not knowing whatever the situation may be. So I was just trying to give you a platform to speak your piece and say what you had to say as far as how you felt about the situation, and as well as about what you know, as far as going on, as far as I guess I guess the conditions of the family that she was living in, and all of that. So I mean, what beyond what I just asked you would you like people to know about the situation, whether it be like I said about the family or you or what? What do you want the people to know?
Uh, I mean, I would take any questions if somebody want to ask. But as far as if we are moving forward to the grandmother of Naziah, I'm gonna move right forward.
Okay, now
So
before we do that though, I do see one question that I want to address. Now somebody asked, so did you cheat on your wife? Okay, and conceive
yeah,
Nevaeh?
obviously, yep, 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 yep. That is what it would be. Yeah, that is what it would be.
So you
That
did
was
that to basically
what
protect
has
her from
happened.
knowing about her and gave her up to the grandmother. So at what point did she find out about your daughter?
So, for one, when you put yourself on child support, they come out. I didn't know that. So they came out, and I came home from work one day, and I had to have a total conversation with my wife. And what had done happened had been done already, and and that's how my wife found out, and I had to deal with it, and I had to deal with it.
So now, one thing that was in the back of my mind, as I was learning the history from some of the family of Lady, I guess that's her name, that's what y'all call her or whatnot. And her
I
history.
call it Chantel.
Okay,
I
Chantel,
call it Taylor Chantel. Yeah.
Chantel Lay. I didn't know. I couldn't remember
Mhm.
her first name. Um, like what was she like when you were with her? If you could give us a window
So
into that.
we work. Yep, we work together. We redid homes, and she was really good at painting, drywall, and things like that. So I don't know if I was arguing at home or and I used to drink heavily, smoke weed and drink all day back then, and
Okay.
which probably led to some of my conditions. So intoxicated, she was like a real cool person, like to work with, you know. And I guess, under influence, one thing led to another, and the situation had happened. But Chantel was dibbling dabbling with drugs back then. I believe it was like coke. I think it was cocaine. You know, she didn't do no pipes. I think it was just cocaine. But
Did you
you
ever use
know,
it with her?
moving back.
You ever used it with her?
Oh no, I don't. No,
Okay.
no, I don't.
Okay.
No, I ain't that, even that type of cat. So, and you know, Chantel was, you know, bisexual. So, you know, it was kind of a like almost like a party lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what it was. Now, you know, as far as when I talk to the grandmother, this situation has gotten a lot worse. You know, now Chantel, Chantel had a son before Ziyah. You see
Right.
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I think, and you know what? From the podcast, I don't know if I heard right, but Chantel might even be adopted to her mother. I don't even know. You know, now these are things that I did not know. I just did not know. You know, so and then the other two kids, if they like, cause they said they all ran away when they were younger. You know, so this is what I'm saying. All this stuff I didn't even know. It was no communication or relationship like that. You know, people make mistakes. People do things and they make mistakes, and you go on with your life. You know, and at that time, you do damage, and you have to learn and you grow, and you just have to keep going through life. And you know, that's basically, you know, and that's what it was. That's what it is.
Okay. One more thing that was on my mind to ask you before you get into, your comments about the grandmother or whatnot. Like, so since you cheated on your wife and had Nevaeh, and you
Mm-hmm.
kept that secret from her to protect her, once you
Mm-hmm.
find out, she didn't say bring the baby home. Like, what was that? That was never a conversation as far as you,
It
after she
was,
found out.
yep. It was always a conversation. It was always a conversation. That was one of the main reasons I was taking bikes, clothes, whatever that baby wanted over there. And that's, you know,
That's the reason why you was taking things over there because y'all was having conversations about bringing her home.
we were trying so to get, you know, to still be in the baby's life.
Okay,
You
still
know,
be involved so you
when
can
you
see it.
make a decision, you just can't just automatically change it. Like, no,
Right, right,
grandma,
right, right,
whatever.
right.
Yeah, you just don't do that. So you show you could be there, and you show you could be responsible. And that's what I was doing. I was showing I could be responsible. I kept up my child support payments. To this day, they're still going. And and so and that's what it is. My wife is a very supportive person, you know, and it's nothing that she. If it was nothing on her, and none of this is on my wife at all. She's a beautiful, supporting person, and and that's what it is about her, you know.
Dig it, dig it, dig it. Okay, so I guess with that being said, you can go forward with whatever the details is that you
So
want to share about the family or the grandmother, the situation, or your whole view of this situation right now.
okay, so it's like when I was in the hospital and she was queuing me in on everything, she was telling me like the baby never ran away. This has never happened before, you know. And she was seen running with some kids, so you know we're gonna find her and we're gonna bring her home. And you know, now my family's asking like, well, are they gonna do a police conference? And I'm like, well, Mama said they were gonna do a police conference. They're trying to schedule. It's gonna be on this day. Now, mind you, this is like around the ninth or whatever. I believe it was the ninth. But we was having these conversations, and I'm like, okay, so it was just kept on like we were gonna do this, we're gonna do this. She even said Chantel came down from Ohio that helped pass out flyers. And when she had gotten there, I said, we were talking. I said, well, how's Tail doing? She said she's not doing too good about it. And I said, oh, okay. And I left it at that, because, I know what type of state Telly be in. So I left it at that. But she was helping look for, as far as I know, they was passing out flyers, looking. So as time goes on, it's just a whole bunch of, like, I would call Mama, and I didn't want to bother her, but she was always be like, I'm tired, and yeah, maybe, and she's always like she seemed like the perfect grandmother. Well, I used to go over there, the house was immaculate, She was always working, trying to do something. The baby was happy, cooking, things like that. It was never and she's a God-fearing woman, so it was always like a good vibe. So I respected her with a good vibe. You know what I'm saying? So if she told me something, I really believed it. I would have never thought it would be so much shady stuff coming from her direction, And then it's they got twins. She has twins, they used to live with her, And so now, I guess one of them don't, one of them do. I don't know. I just know that's the part of the family that I know.
So basically, you're saying all of that to say that the picture was painted perfectly in your eyes, and it looked like nothing was going wrong, or nothing was ever wrong in the situation.
Ever wrong.
And when
right.
This particular situation came about, they're telling you that this is something that never happened, and they weren't worried about it as if they was expecting her to come back home anytime soon.
Right. No, correct. Now I want to say this. Now at this time they were dealing with DPS, that's the Detroit school system police, right? So she hadn't even explained that to me. So eventually when I got out, I didn't want to keep talking to her, but I wanted more information, so I got out of the hospital. I wasn't even supposed to be walking. I'm on a medicine that keeps my heart pumping. I wasn't even supposed to be walking. I got nurses calling me because they was concerned because of police. And I'm out there, me and my wife passing out flyers, my sister, my son, my nephew, we out here passing out flyers. And I would stop over at Mom's house and try to get, direction of where I should go, what's going on. And she would just come out. She said, oh, yeah, we out passing them out earlier and this and that. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to do this. We out there day and night. But every time we went, they were in the house. And then the twins, like, I know them. They never came out the house. So I feel like, what's going on over here? So one day I went over there, or I was having a conversation with the grandmother. She said, I don't know why everybody want to ask where, Chantel got an older son. I think he's around 70, 18 now. They want to talk to him. I don't know why the police want to talk to him. He ain't got nothing to do with it. You see what I'm saying? It's just her attitudes started changing.
Okay, so now you're saying that, right? Basically, you're saying all of that to say that, you notice red flags about certain situations, and you probe them and ask them about it, and they act suspiciously, I guess, to say, for lack of a better way of explaining it.
Right. Now, when we was trying, I said, Mama, and after a while, I'm like, Mama, we done put these flyers up. All the kids that we talking to, they're saying they know her, but they ain't seen her in 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm like, well, that's about when the thing happened. It ain't nobody seeing her, but Mama telling me they seeing her running up and down the street. And I'm trying to keep calm. Now, after we go through, and I'm going to jump right back, DPS and the Detroit Police Department, they do have a certain procedure and protocol on how they do things. If it's a runaway, I think they treat the situation different than a missing person. I don't know. Now that all this came out, I think she was reported as a runaway. And I think that was set up like that. I really do. I really do think it was set up like a runaway for time purposes. And I'm simply saying that because I asked Grandma, I said, now look, Ma, I just want to ask a few more questions. If let me tell you this. Now, we was talking, and she had told me the summertime, oh, yeah, she's a straight A student. She even went to the summer school classes and everything. So they had said that I pulled up, well, a guy was at the school in a pickup truck, and Ziyah had went out there to the pickup truck. And the principal had supposedly went out there and said, who were you talking to who was that? Ziyah turned around and said, this is my dad. So the lady was like, yo, dad. So when she started walking towards her, they said the guy pulled off. So the Ziyah came back in. So I said, well, Ma, I didn't know where y'all lived at. She was like, yeah, because we moved. I said, well, ain't nobody called me. She was like, well, we tried to call, the number didn't go through. I said, Mama, I was in the hospital so long, I don't even know where that phone was. I said, so, and if anything, what happened, I will call you. She was like, I know, you're very respectful. So I'm not thinking of the conversation, so we still talking. I said, well, what did she say? She said she asked her, who was that? She said, she looked at her and said, that's my daddy, Anna. And she was like, that is not your dad. And this, that. So I think she said she started crying or whatever. And she said, we'll deal with this later. So I'm like, okay. So now going back real quick. Now, mind I told you when we got out, we was passing out flyers. I would go over there and ask her what area should I go in. She was like, well, go down there to Chadsworth, on Chadsworth. So I guess the back of the school sits on Chadsworth. I said, well, Ma, why would I go down there on Chadsworth? She was like, because that's when Ziyah walked through the field and met with that guy at the truck. I said, so she walked through the back of the school, Ma, and walked through the field? I'm trying to figure out. She was like,
say all of that to say that they
the
knew
story's
that she was possibly dealing with somebody out of her age range and was not doing nothing about it?
Now, I'm about to tell you some more stuff. I just wanted to give you that scenario. Now, Ziyah is smart, okay? If that was the case, I believe she was covering up for somebody. She didn't want them to get exposed. Now, as I listen to your podcast,
that's over age,
that
right?
she knows. Yep, that she knows, and they not her age. Now that I listen to your story, and it's like this guy who's one of the twins' boyfriends. You see what I'm saying? And this guy's supposed to have all this sexual misconduct junk and all this nasty stuff. Okay, red
the
flag.
Jarvis dude?
Yeah, I believe that's him. I believe it's him. Because I don't know none of this. I don't, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to say it's this guy, but I believe it's him. I just heard about this yesterday. So now before all this, me and Mom was having a conversation. I said, well, Ma, how did you manage? She said, well, I think Shannon, one of the twins, her man would pick up the kids from school sometimes, take them up to his shop, and they would clean up and work up there, and she would go pick them up. So I'm thinking, like, well, maybe this is the guy she was protecting. This before I even know this guy was a pedophile. So, I'm like, okay, Ma, we need to look into that. She was like, no, because he ain't with her no more, or whatever that she might have said, So I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, like, okay. But now I listen to your podcast, and I'm putting two to two together. So your podcast, I listened to that last night, right?
Right. That
night, I texted the grandmother. I said, oh, my God, I can't believe you. I said, twin, like this shit really hurt. I said, y'all sick over there. I said, 7 kids, like 5 with this guy, 7. You know what I'm saying? But I asked Mama before I sent them text, who is Jarvis? This woman sat up there and act like she ain't know who he was. and then was like, oh, that's Kim's boyfriend. I said, well, is that the one they got in custody? She was like, look, her voice got real uppity then. She was like, look, I'm not saying nothing. The police say people gonna say things. When you get out here, they're gonna, and don't believe them until they come back and tell you what's what. But I've been asking you the truth about these situations, and you haven't been truthful not once. You know what I'm saying? Now she go back and tell the police, my daughter has been running away. But you tell me she has never done it before. I mean, it's so many things
Yeah,
that's not added up.
I mean, and that's the thing that I'm hearing from a lot of people as far as, and I'm not here to throw nobody under the bus. I'm just discussing the things that I've heard and the things that I see. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are
Right.
saying that the story from the story from the person that it's coming from is switching up, like, you know, left and right, up and down. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And so when I'm given the information that I'm heard, it may, I mean, that I'm being told, it may sound like my shit is up, down, left, and right. You know what I mean? But
Right. But I mean, coming from the grandmother, man, this should be on point. Period.
and
A grandmother.
I'm gonna say this. You know, I actually obtained a contact number for the grandmother, and I called her not long ago, less than 2 hours ago, and I reached out to her, you know, respectfully, and said, I'm Mark D from Selmar Radio. I'm a citizen journalist. I have a independent media outlet, and I've been kind of covering the story over the last couple of days, and I wanted to reach out to you to see if you wanted to have a conversation and share your piece on what's going on. You know what I mean? I'm unbiased. I'm not the police. I'm not, I'm a citizen journalist. I'm not even the mainstream terrestrial news corporate outlet. You know what I mean? So I was just giving her a platform to speak. And to me personally, she sounded a little. I don't know if it was worried, disgruntled, or whatnot, but she declined my offer to speak and got off the phone real quick. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I'm like, I
man.
just.
She ain't trying to deal with none of this, man. I'm telling you. That's why I didn't even want to ask her questions because her demeanor was off. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to respect her. She has always been, when you say grandmother, I'm talking like a respectable person. I don't even know what all this stuff, all the adoptions and all this stuff. I It didn't even seem like that was in their category. It's like she
Well,
been adopted.
from what I hear, the grandmother, and I don't know how true it is, right? But two other people is telling me they don't know how she ended up with not only your kids, but the other seven kids that's under the age of 10 that's in the house right now because she, in fact, lost her kids to CPS when they were younger. Her five kids, they all ran away or something like that. But that's just a story that I'm told. So,
Right, right, right.
but
Oh my God.
But yeah, man, like I said, man, I really just wanted to, like I said, hear, how you felt, you know what I'm saying, see, how you was doing and give you a platform to speak and ask you a couple of questions because the main concern, from even me, what I mean, was like, where's her dad at? Like, where's he at all of this time? Just wanted to, give you an opportunity to speak and tell everybody what it is that you was going through in regards to all of this.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it, man, because when I speak to when I do talk to police, you only get you listen and you got to let them do their job. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate the Detroit Police Department. And I do appreciate DPS because when Detroit stepped in, bro, all this stuff started moving like clockwork. Oh, boom, 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 boom.
You said
You
what
know what
now?
I'm saying? When Detroit Police got the case,
Oh, oh.
everything started moving like clockwork. I want to get like Tamara, that police commissioner. She has been overly outstanding. Eric from the 300, my sister Kelly Stang. She has been networking, doing things, and I appreciate it. I mean, I'm talking about Eric called me for the 300, called me at night. We got to talking. He said, "Hold on, we talking to the deputy chief trying to get answers through." I didn't even know they worked that night like that, So, and I really do appreciate it, and I really do think if it wasn't misled, I think a lot of stuff could have been done a lot faster. I really do think the whole situation was misled, like she was a runaway, and to cover up some real sick stuff that was already going on over in that house.
Yeah, that's kind of up the lane that somebody else said. You know what I mean? As far as same thing that they said, man. So, but yeah, man, I'm gonna give you a break, sir. I'm not gonna keep you all night, man, and I'm gonna let you know let the call in line breathe a little bit. Everybody is discussing the comments, the conversation we just had, so you can go check that out while I prepare to open up the phone lines for the grandmother's cousin, who is very adamant
Okay.
about speaking about this situation. So, like I said,
Right,
man, I
right.
appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts, man, and I don't appreciate you sharing your experiences because I don't appreciate you going through this, brother. But I'm glad that you have
Oh yeah.
sound mind enough to and hard enough to speak with us about all of this right now.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've done a lot of growing. I'm talking about some of the biggest mistakes in my life, man. And I got a wonderful wife who stuck with me. And I'm hurt. I killed myself on this one. Sometimes you can really hurt yourself, and I don't want to say even grow or move on. You got to stay there for a minute. I have to stay here for a minute, and deal with this situation. This ain't no get your parents' car and have an accident. This is my baby's life. And I shouldn't. I really do feel like I left her high and dry on this one. It don't matter if I lost contact or what. It should have been. I should have been. I was a man. I should have
You feel like you
continued.
failed her. You feel like you failed her.
I feel like I felt I should have continued being a man and had the conversations I needed to have. Because it was men out here doing that. They were having conversations, having that life, having that. Even the ones that didn't have jobs, some of them they had multiple relationships. They had relations with different women and babies, and they did what they could.
So
And I should.
are you still with yo? Is it your wife currently that you with now that you still with from back then?
Oh yes, yes, sir,
Okay,
yes,
so
sir.
as beautiful and as wonderful as a woman as you describe her to be, um, you don't think she would allowed you to take your daughter in?
Oh, now you know what I do, but it's not like that when you outlive in a certain type of life, man. It's just not like that. It ain't like I'm out here and I'm doing all these, man. The house working on house games is treacherous. It's just treacherous. You begin to the nightlife catch you. You drinking. You try to you're making money. You're paying bills. Everything moving fast, and it's just like almost like you might as well say the dope game, man. And you're moving fast, and you're not recognizing. You're not recognizing a lot, man. You're just not. And you have to be a sound mind. But you know what? Just like now today, you have to tie yourself to somebody and to something. And that's what I've done. I've been to a lot of ministries. I've been to perfecting. Pastor Wine, as he has been a blessing over there. I learned a lot from the ministers over there. That sharpened my game, and I just kept moving around to where, now I'm tying myself to over here with Great Faith Ministries, and they have been there for me, and they've been a good anchor. I talk to the pastors over there all day, and I'm able to go to them with the problems and straighten things out, and as best as you can. You have to continue to live your life. You know,
Yeah, you got to continue to live your life, but at the same time, bro, like your life, just like when you get into a relationship, right? You're not the same person that you were before the relationship. Once you get into the relationship, right, you got to make changes. You got to make sacrifices.
you have to make changes and
And
sacrifices.
those same that same not those same but the same thing has to happen, you know what I mean, on a whole another level when you have kids. You know what I'm saying? You got to make changes and sacrifices on a different level, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But what I'm saying is that people are always running a mouth. If you, oh, I see, I'm out here in the open. Everybody that's saying stuff, and you put them out here in the open there, you will get bombarded too. Nobody's perfect.
Right.
You have to stay, just like the grandmother. She was a beautiful person. She has to stay under the word of God. Just like me, I need to stay under the word of God. You know, when you make that lifestyle change, it's a lifestyle change. You know, it ain't just for that moment. And then when you begin to walk and do those things, it's a lot of things you learn. You make your mistakes, you move on. I made my mistakes. And I'm still gonna make mistakes, but I'm not gonna stop. You know, I'm not gonna stop. I'm just not. I'm not gonna stop. And that's just what it is, man. It's just what it is. I have to keep going. I have to keep going. And I'm not saying going without this situation. I'm talking about as far as learning and growing. People are always gonna have a comeback to anything you say.
Most definitely.
But you just gotta keep on. You gotta keep on going, man. You can't stop.
All right, brother, man. Like I said, man, I appreciate your time, man, and getting your opinions and your view of this whole situation off your chest, man. 'Cause a lot of people had questions, like I said, as myself. Wanted to know a couple of things, man. So I'm glad that you, cleared it up as possible, as best as you possibly could, from your angle,
Hmm.
man. And you, like I said, you go ahead and get some rest, man, because I don't want to put no more stress on your brother than you already got, bro. I don't want to put no more on you, man. So
Thanks, man.
yeah, man. And I'm like I said, open up the phone
Reach
lines.
back out, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Reach
I'm
back
gonna definitely
out.
stay. Oh, come on, bro. I'm gonna stay in contact with you, man, and check on you every once in a while and see what's up, man. And 'cause this definitely, like I said, kind of dear to my heart, because I'm kind of going through a situation with CPS where I'm, what I'm saying, fighting for my son on some different level type shit. So I mean, I just kind of feel for this whole situation right now. So, but
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
but yeah, man, we gonna clear it out. And let's see what Kenya got to say, man. You enjoy your night and get some rest, man, and check out the rest of the broadcast if you choose to.
Yep. And then I'm gonna come back at you to see if you send out this post. We're gonna be out here searching for this week. We're gonna try to do a big push, like between Wednesday and Thursday. On one of these days, we're decent to where we could be comfortable, because I don't want to inconvenience nobody. And we got all the flyers, so if you want to come out and help, that'd be a blessing too.
All right.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Yes, sir.
So that was that. All right. This is Kenya calling my phone. She's calling the wrong phone. Hey, yo, Kenya. Kenya.
Yes.
What you did was called my personal phone. You were supposed to call the number you was texting before. That's the call in
Oh,
line.
okay. All right.
All right. Look, Kenya ready. She's ready. Ready. You hear me? This one right here, yeah, y'all better go pour y'all cups. Y'all better go pour y'all cups for this one. Let me load the call line up. So I'm just waiting on Kenya. I'm about to call her. If she don't call me first. What's happening, Kenya? Kenya,
Yes.
what's going on, sister?
Um, you know, first and most, I want to say I don't mean no disrespect to my family, and let alone the person that's in custody family, because he has more. He's got what 20 children out there, so I don't mean no disrespect to them because I know they're listening as well, right? What I will agree with Isaiah's father is that I would have never expected in a million years that my cousin would be involved in a situation like this because she covered very well. And when I tell you, I would sit over there, kick it with her, never suspected anything. I mean, I done been rubbed the wrong way by some people that she had over there, and I asked her about it. But I would have never, ever, ever, ever in a million years would have thought that cousin was involved in this kind of a situation here to where she didn't protect children.
So that's
What I will,
go ahead.
huh?
No, go ahead.
What I will say is that a cousin came to me and told me some things. I got some things verified by another child that I spoke to. So she verified the story. So once she verified this information, I then went on Facebook in September and posted about things that was going on over there at my cousin's house with the twins children's father. I posted his picture, and my family is so blindsided that they didn't even see the big picture that I was posting. They was just upset that I was posting it.
So the post is the post that you're talking about the one where, that I added to the screen yesterday where it says can't sweep.
Oh no, sir. No, sir. That was in January. I started posting about this molestation stuff in September. That was going on over there. And I was going back and forth with the twins about it. Like, y'all got a whole child molester over there. What's going on? So this is a shock to just know that she knew about it. They all knew about it, covering up. They even had the children lie to the police about a situation and change their story so the children's mother wouldn't have to raise the kids on their own, and she was more worried about not having help with the kids and him going to jail. And just recently, from what I understand, she's going back and forth with another female about him on Facebook, about who man he belonged to, who's the main chick for him.
Now, the crazy thing about that specific situation that you're talking about that involved the kids, and I don't know if you care or if we even really need to get into the details of it, but that same exact situation was laid out to me by someone else whom is on what I want to say the other side of the wheel. Yeah, I'm confused. I want to say the other side of the family, but maybe not. But from somebody who we weren't in the same room with. Me and you and this person wasn't in the same room. So I'm hearing that same story from somebody else. And when you told it to me yesterday, right, when you were telling me the story, I kind of finished the story for you and I asked you, so how do I know this, right? Remember that part?
Right.
So it has to be some type of a truth to it, is what I'm saying.
Right. There's a whole lot of truth to it. It's just sad to me that people will get more upset about exposing pedophiles than being upset about the children that are being damaged and their careers and their life is being changed forever because grown adults are more protective of adults that are hurting children. And in my mind, when you do that, when you know this is going on, you need to go to prison just like that pedophile need to go to prison. They need to throw her under the jail and the two other ones under jail. All of them need to go.
I see a question in the comments that asks, why didn't you call the police in September?
Why didn't I call the police in September? It wasn't about me calling the police in September. It was about me establishing what was going on within that family because I don't go over there. So the information was fed to me, right? The information that was fed to me that I checked up on and confirmed. So that child I asked her mother, well, what happened when you went to the police? And she said, well, the police did not press charges because the children was forced to change what they said had happened so he wouldn't go to jail. So where I don't have no proof. I could just tell the story of what happened and how we got there.
Yeah, if the kids
That's why.
are not going to back it up. But now this is something else that you told me though. Now, you and this other person told me that I guess somebody asked the kids, did it really happen? And they said yes, and the reason why they lied or whatnot.
Yes, that they were being forced to change their story. So that individual wouldn't go to jail. So that mother would still have him around to help her with the 5 children that she's had by him. So they forced them babies to change the story, so he wouldn't get in trouble.
So you say all of that to say that there's a
That
track record of them knowing detrimental shit happening and them covering it up.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. When that little girl, my little cousin, confirmed what had happened with that grown man. Oh, so they over there covering stuff up, and then that's when I blew up and put it all on Facebook for everybody to know. They covering sex offenders over there. So that's why I didn't go to the police, because if my cousin took her daughter to the police station and told them, and they said, well, man, we can't do nothing because these kids are saying it didn't happen. And you got to understand, my cousin is very stern. She is of my grandmother. She grew up with our parents. My grandmother had 9 kids, so she grew up within that realm. And she was one of them ironclad grandmothers, so some of my cousin's tactics come from her.
Man, I just don't know what to say about this. This is just...
It's a mess. It really is. This could have been prevented.
If you was to take a shot in the dark, right, and you was to, have your theory on where she is right now, or what happened to her, what is your theory, and what does your heart tell you happened?
Ooh-wee. I don't know if I really want to answer that right now, because I want the best for Ziyah. I want her to be alive. I want her to be well. But they had time enough to do whatever they needed to do. If they did do something, they had time to figure out what to do. They had that time. So I don't want to put that on my little cousin that she's not here any longer. But it seems that way. And it seems that they had enough time to do whatever they needed to do, and now she's gone. You know what I mean? So for my family's sake, for my bloodline, I love all my peoples, but this right here could have been prevented if everybody would have opened their eyes, because a lot of my family members are still sleeping. Their eyes are not open at all. This situation didn't have to happen. But now that it has happened, maybe this will have other families rethinking how they are handling pedophiles, child molestation. Maybe this is what needed to be. Maybe this is what needed to happen to bring more awareness to our children being hurt by grown men and mothers and aunties hiding it and thinking it's okay, because it is not okay. It's not okay to keep passing this trauma down and down and down. It's not okay. It's not okay. This could have been prevented.
Yeah, it absolutely could have been prevented. I mean, just like every other situation that we see like this on the news, you know what I mean? And just like I said, yesterday to you, unfortunately, we all know that this is, I want to say, probably not going to be the last, but we know it's not going to be the last one. You know what I mean? And
People got to wake up.
and part of the whole point of me uh, being so involved in this, because I see the importance of exposing the corruption or the neglect in the system in regard to CPS, or even the family system, the family structure. We know there's so many things going on, and not in everybody's family, right? Now, they know it doesn't happen in everybody's family, but we know in a lot of
Right.
people's families, there's that uncle or that cousin or whatever, whoever. Sometimes that auntie, right? That has inappropriate behavior around the kids.
Yeah.
Keep the kids from around when Uncle Johnny come over, type shit. You know what I mean? So, as opposed to sweeping this stuff under the rug, right? We need to be proactive as opposed to reactive and wait until tragedies happen and try to run around like chickens with our heads cut off, trying to figure out what happened and why it happened and what we can do to prevent it. When we all know and see the red flags in the beginning, and we give people and give situations the benefit of the doubt as opposed to the consequence of the doubt. You know what I mean? And we end up suffering the consequences like we are right now.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was the whole point of me. Like I said, just kind of involving my platform in this because I just seen a need. You know what I'm saying? Just like any other time where I see a void, I try to fill it. So this is just, I feel like it was a need. This conversation was needed. This situation, I don't know, it's heartbreaking. It's hard to even talk about. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, has to be talked about. Has to be discussed. So, I mean, I don't know if it's what else more to say about it. You know what I mean? We need to find her, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? We need to get some resolve to this situation, and I hope, like you said, that she's somewhere safe and turn up, because it's crazy out here. No teenage girl need to be out here with people that it's not her family and mean her no good. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, only
anything else you want to say?
her own family didn't even save her. So her own family didn't even save her. Her own immediate family didn't even save her. They let it happen. It's their fault, and they need to go down the drain just like anybody else. And we family, but it is what it is. So to all them people out there that's praying for Ziyah, I thank you. For all y'all that's praying and hoping that she be safe, I thank you. And for those that don't understand what's really going on, I hope you wake up, because it can happen to your loved one. It can happen to your family member. And if it is happening to your family member, be that black sheep. Speak up, because I don't care about none of my family not liking me, because I speak up on things that need to be spoke up on. I'm not scared to say nothing. So if you continue to be scared and not speak up, things will happen, and they will continue. But somebody got to break that chain. Somebody got to stop it.
Yeah, just like I
And
told
that's
the
all I
dad.
got to say.
Yeah, I'm about to say, just like I told the dad, I appreciate your time and your comments and sharing your thoughts and emotions on all this, because this is a wild one right here. This is
Yeah,
a
and
wild
had
one.
he been a dad, and she's very, very smart. So had he been a dad, there's no telling who she could have been. Very smart, very sweet little girl. I always hugged her every time I saw her, getting A's and B's in school. I never saw any fastness in her. None. None.
Hmm.
But some things I've been hearing over the last year, I heard some things.
Now, real quick before you go, because I'm seeing a reiterating statement that's flowing through the comments. How do you feel about people who feel like you are a part of what failed her because you knew what was going on, and you didn't do enough? You didn't call the
Well,
police.
I'm not a part of what failed her. I didn't fail her. All I did was put the story out there. I didn't even know that anything was happening between her and a grown man. I found that out just through hearing and watching. I didn't even know no parts of that because I didn't even think that she was involved in anything like that because of how sweet and how smart she is and she go to school. She just didn't even seem like she was that kind of little girl. But I mean, when you got pedophiles around you and doing this and doing that, you change in the blink of an eye. So I knew nothing about that. Had I known something about that, I would have reported it. But again, we got other cousins in the family that's called police, that's called CPS on the situation. Now, CPS and the police kind of failed her, not me. Because had I known, I would have made that call too. But I didn't know.
Well, yeah, man, I ain't gonna, like I said, I ain't gonna stress you out about it, cause it's enough. It's a stressful enough a situation by itself. Face with you digitally, man, and had this conversation with you. But just first off, man, how are you doing tonight, man?
I'm just, I'm frustrated and I'm frustrated, hurt, confused, just everything, and just trying to stay alive. That's about it. Trying to stay alive.
Dig it, dig it. Now, when you spoke to me last night, you said that you had like no idea about what was going on in regards to this situation.